We're happy to see you still with us for more Explore Tulsa. Now, Stevie, did you ever think about trying out for the Olympics?
I think all kids think about that, but the best I could probably do is that guy with the broom on the curling team.
Well, during the summer games, I really enjoy watching the gymnasts compete.
I might could have done that Will Ferrell flag twirl event.
Yeah, maybe, but when it comes to training, it's good to have someone that's learned from the best, like David Finning at Pride Gymnastics Academy.
The first thing that I loved about it was the fact that I could flip. You know, that was the number one thing, and you know, there was no one telling me not to flip. It was just encouragement. So, you know, I loved the acrobatic side of it. That was the number one thing that I loved as a kid, was just being upside down and soaring through the air and feeling that, you know, the closest thing I could get to flight. I was watching ESPN Classics and saw Bart Connor on the TV, and I was just like, that's the sport for me. He is an Olympian back in the 70s, and he actually lives in Oklahoma City and inspires the youth to do gymnastics every year. So he was just an amazing man of great virtue, and you know, helped win us a gold medal. So when I wanted to get involved, luckily there was one gymnastics facility called American Gymnastics Academy, and they happened to come to my school, and they performed. But when the opportunity came, we decided to finally put me in there because I was unbelievably rambunctious, and so I went in there first try, and you know, I just loved it. It was amazing. So from the second I got started, I just wanted to do it myself, whether I was capable of doing it or not. And so, you know, for me, I just followed directions. That's all I did. I just kind of listened to every coach that I had and made sure that I did everything that they told me to the best of my abilities, and was fortunate enough to make it to the University of Oklahoma towards the end of my career. So, towards my later years, I would say probably floor was my strongest event, floor or high bar. High bar is the event I probably always enjoyed the most, because that's the number one event that you can just kind of launch yourself into the air and just get up there and hang out. So I always loved being in the air, I loved being upside down. That was the number one thing for me, but tumbling always kind of came naturally to me because that was what I started with. You know, I taught most of the beginner skills like handstands, back handsprings, backflips. I taught that to myself before I even got into gymnastics, just playing around trampolines. So that always kind of came naturally to me, but high bar was always my favorite event to train. So my number one goal behind starting Pride Gymnastics Academy was to offer elite training here in Tulsa. You know, for me, I had to move to get the best training. I had to move, you know, practically across the country all the way to Houston in order to get elite level training. That was for 4 years. I had to move there for all of high school. I was extremely fortunate to have that opportunity. But no, it was a bit of a struggle. You know, I had to grow up, you know, I had to go through all my high school years without my mom, and that's why we started this, is so other people from the Tulsa area and the Tulsa community don't have to make that sacrifice as well, that they can do it here and they can have the same opportunities that I did without moving. From the second you're walking, you can be here taking classes, and if you're an elite level gymnast, you can be here training, you know, for whatever competitions you're going into, all the way to, you know, even if you just want to be here for recreation, you want to learn how to do back handsprings or learn how to flip, or you know, kind of like the parkour type stuff. Like, we offer it all. I think the number one thing is that, you know, it develops your balance. It develops your ability to be limber. It develops coordination. And anytime you get into any sort of sport, not just gymnastics, it's going to challenge your wherewithal. It's going to develop your character. You know, it's going to teach you either, you know, discipline or determination, or, you know, all of those things that accumulate to an athlete. Because just because you're not competing, or just because, you know, you're not on a team, doesn't make you not an athlete. You're still an athlete, you know, so long as you're getting in here and you're having fun and you're learning. Gymnastics is more than just competing. It's more than just, you know, learning the typical competitive skills and routines. It's a community. You know, I think that anybody that wants to learn how to flip or be upside down is welcome here.